We're staged for another run of nitro-fueled NHRA talk. It's The Straight Line, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts, with Marty Huff and 10-time NHRA winner Doug Herbert. Brought to you by Hercules Tires. Now, here are your hosts, Doug and Marty.
This is The Straight Line on Drag Racing. Thanks for stopping by our half hour of horsepower. Appreciate you being with us. John Force Racing is atop the drag racing world with a Nitro Championship double-up. Brittany Force wins the first championship of her career in Top Fuel, and Robert Hight takes title number 2. We'll talk to both today. We're in the beams and set to launch another edition of The Straight Line. Wherever you may be, coast to coast, around the world, this is The Straight Line on drag racing at mrn.com. Along with 4-time IHRA Top Fuel champion and 10-time NHRA National Event winner Doug Herbert, I am Marty Huff, and we have crowned champions in NHRA. And this is the last pass for us this year here on The Straight Line. Next year, we're coming back for another season in 2018. As promised, Brittany Force and Robert Hight will join us. But Doug, first, Pro Stock champions crown. Eddie Krawiec, we kind of saw coming. I don't think we saw Bo Butner winning his first championship coming.
Well, yeah, Eddie Krawiec, the Vance and Hines team, they're so strong. I mean, they're just, it almost sometimes like they're playing with those guys. And
yeah,
I don't know if they are or not, but it almost seems like that they are so strong that they're playing with those other guys. But at any rate, yeah, I don't think that was a big surprise seeing Eddie win. We almost knew that going into last week. He had a pretty commanding lead. Andrew Hines wins the last race. I mean, Vance and Hines has dominated. Now, on the other hand, Bo Butner rinsed his car, rinsed his engine, rinsed his equipment from KB Racing. Now, if that isn't a level playing field, the guy that you're renting an engine and a car to beat your 2 primary cars, I'll tell you what, kudos to the entire KB Racing team for, I mean, I'm sure they're happy to see Bo win, but with their equipment, but Jason and Greg Anderson that's their primary cars. There's no punches pulled there. I think that is I think that's good for the class of Pro Stock. I think that's good for the sport of NHRA drag racing. There was no playing games there. Those guys went up there, they raced. I mean, we're not going to have John Force on to ask him what happened in Las Vegas with him and all that. I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, look, Connie Coletta, I remember when Connie raced Scott Coletta somewhere. I think it was at Topeka, actually. And he went up there, did a burnout, backed up. We're all at the starting line. Oh, man, this is getting down here, the championship chase. Connie shuts the car off on the starting line. And I think it was Steve Evans at the time. Steve Evans runs over to him. Conrad, what happened? Why'd you shut it off? And he said, because it was running. Like, he made no punches about it. Scott's car is in the championship hunt. All I was going to do is mess it up. I'm going to do everything I can. I own the car. And, but apparently they passed a rule a few years ago in NHRA where blatant throwing a race was not allowed. Whatever. I mean, I think you got to do what you think is best. And, for fans too. I mean, obviously there's some fans that are maybe upset, but all in all, at the end of the day, they're not going to say too much about John Force Racing winning the championship, Top Fuel and Funny Car. We're going to talk to Robert Hight and Brittany today. Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, and going back to Pro Stock, a big tip of the cap to the KB Racing guys, because it came down to basically one race between the 2 combatants. Greg Anderson, Bo Butner, semifinals. If Greg wins the championship. If Greg loses, Bo Butner has to go through and win another one. He wins that round and goes on to win the race and the championship. No punches pulled there. It was just a fabulous high-energy weekend at Pomona. And when we return, we will talk to the 2017 Top Fuel champion, Brittany Force, will join us next.
Junior Nation, it all comes down to this. After over 200,000 laps, 750 races, and 14 Most Popular Driver Awards, it's time for a Legends Last Lap. Be there to witness Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s final race, Sunday, November 19th at Homestead Miami Speedway during the Ford EcoBoost 400 Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Tickets on sale now at HomesteadMiamiSpeedway.com or call 866-409-RACE.
It's time to start pouring concrete, and the Housby mixer system is ready for the job. The Housby mixer system was created specifically with the driver in mind. All controls and specs are completely customizable to your operations. Our durable, driver-friendly mixer can be mounted on all truck types, and our expert support is second to none. On-site and live phone support is just a phone call away. For more information, visit Housby.com. Housby, an official sponsor of NASCAR for over 40 years.
Hi, this is Joey Meyer, championship spotter, adequate pilot, and co-host of MRN Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Join Woody Kane and I every Monday at noon on MRN.com as we debate the biggest stories in NASCAR.
Back for a year again is Kyle Petty.
I always laugh when we talk about a race car driver designing a race car track. Let me do it. Oh, there it was. I just designed one. Woo, I made a circle.
Log in every Monday at noon or anytime on demand at MRN.com for MRN Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse.
Welcome back to The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Here's more with Marty Huff and Doug Herbert.
Thanks for being here on the Straight Line, and joining us on the guest line right now is the driver of the Monster Energy Top Fuel Dragster for John Force Racing and 2017 Top Fuel NHRA champion. Brittany Force joins us. Brittany, thanks for your time. We really appreciate it. Congratulations on the championship, the win. It's just one hell of a weekend.
Oh, thank you. It still doesn't seem real. I don't think it's completely sunk in yet. The last few days have just been a whirlwind. And, I woke up this morning. It was kind of like we had a break for a second. And, it's still settling in. It doesn't seem real. I'm so beyond excited, so proud of all of JFR. This is huge. And it's so great.
Brittany, leaving Las Vegas last week, and I don't think it's a mystery. You had to be disappointed leaving Las Vegas, being in the position to win, and then all of a sudden, gosh, you got to wait a whole another week. You went out there, in the interview I saw with your dad on TV, is like, oh man, Brittany was just tore up all week, and I can imagine the anticipation of being able to go to Pomona and get it done. What was the week like? And how much anticipation was there going into Pomona and getting what you had to get done?
The week was torture. It was absolute torture. You're sitting around. Coming right out of Vegas, I wish we could have gone straight into Pomona. To have to sit around and wait. You just sit there and think of every possible scenario. How is it going to line up? Where are you going to qualify? When are Steve Torrance and I going to meet? What round are we going to meet? What about when are we going to meet Coletta? Just all of it, because we were still all in it at that point. And, leaving Vegas, it was tough. A red light in the final. I threw it away for my team, and, that was really difficult. But knowing the situation we were in, knowing the spot we were in, that we still had a chance if we could pull it off in Pomona, I knew what I had to do leaving Vegas, and that was just completely throw the red light away. Put it behind me, get that positive energy back going into Pomona, and get ready for the weekend. It was tough to do, but I knew I had to get rid of it, because if I carried that into Pomona, I don't think we would have gotten where we did and won the race. So for me, that was a big thing. It was tough. All week long between Vegas and Pomona, I just carried this gut ache of, the red light, as much as you try to eliminate it, it still pops in your head, and then just how is it all going to settle? How is it going to all turn out? And just waiting for Sunday, because you knew that once we got to Sunday, afternoon, late evening, we'd have our answers. So I never expected to see it go like this. It's incredible.
Well, you got a good job dealing with that pressure going into the race. You sat there second round, watched Steve Torrance fall down, had a really good race with Anton Brown, and then you came up there and you did what had to be done and got the job done. What does that feel like to hear? Brittany Force, Top Fuel NHRA champion. That's gotta feel so good.
Oh, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. Just hearing that title. I've only been racing in Top Fuel since 2013. We won at Pomona. We locked in the championship at Pomona, and it's just 5 years before that I debuted and made my first Top Fuel run at that racetrack. So it's pretty crazy to, see how far we've come, how much this monster team accomplished. It's something I'm really proud of. I never knew if I'd ever get here as a driver. And, obviously, that's the number one goal. That's what every driver's out here. That's what we all want. But I didn't know if it was ever possible. And I knew we'd get wins. I knew we'd get there. I knew we'd get that. But a championship, it still seems surreal. But it was a good weekend. It was an awesome weekend. Not only did we win, but we doubled up with, my teammate Robert Hight, who I'm so proud of, his entire Auto Club team. They had a tough weekend. Qualifying, they barely got in the show, and then to come out and run the way they did, I'm very proud of that team.
Brittany, for our streaming audience, we're showing the clips of you taking down Richie Crampton, winning the championship, and then the clip of your dad who's just overcome with emotion, is speechless. Maybe for the first time in his life, he's absolutely speechless. What has been his reaction to you and just in general about this? Because not only is this his business, but this is his life with his daughters, and in treating it that way. What's his reaction been?
He's so proud. He came at the end of the racetrack. He climbed out of his car. Courtney too. They both climbed out of the cars. The helmet's still on, and you could just see the tears in their eyes. And it was just, you could tell how proud they both were, and that means anything to me, more than anything. Just, the fact that my dad gave me this opportunity, to drive and be a part of all this. And, he's taught me everything, but to really see how proud he was, that means more to me than any win, any victory. And, I feel like we barely had a moment to talk about it. Just with, the race weekend, bringing home a championship, and then Alan Johnson, Brian Houston, our monster team went on and won the race.
Yeah.
And so there's the hype of that. And then we go straight into the banquet. I feel like I haven't, stopped for a second. I barely even had a conversation with my dad. So I saw him in the office this morning, and at some point we're just going to get away from all of racing, go sit down, get a cup of coffee, have breakfast, and I really just want to sit there and talk about the whole weekend, because we haven't done that yet. And I'm so ready to sit down and do that with him.
Well, Brittany, you've grown up having to fill some big footsteps with your dad of being the 16-time champ, but you're starting to fill those footsteps. And I talked to him a long time ago about winning and whatever, and he goes, Herbert, I didn't even win my first championship till I was your age. I'm looking back. Now here's Brittany winning her first championship way earlier than your dad ever won his. Do you got 15 more in you?
Looking at his record, that seems impossible for anybody. That seems absolutely impossible. I don't even know how. Well, I know how he reached it, because he's the most determined, dedicated, motivated person I've ever met in my life, and he loves the sport so much. So that's how he accomplished it. But, 16 championships, that's insane. It's cool that I share that with my dad. We both have I have my first championship, and to be able to share a title like that with him is pretty cool. Still, it's surreal.
We'll get you out on this. This championship in Top Fuel puts you alongside Shirley Muldowney as the only females to win in Top Fuel. What does that mean to you?
I know. I saw, an article someone sent through this morning on USA Today, and it was, the second female to bring home a championship. And it's like, again, it's still settling in. Like, wow, I can't believe our team accomplished this. This is so huge. And I'm so proud. I'm so proud of the entire weekend. I'm so proud of my team. These guys, they've had my back all season long. I got into trouble so many times, screwed up, pole shots, red lights, and, having conversations with them at the end of the day, having team meetings, they all looked me in the eyes and said, we got your back. Don't worry. We'll figure it out. Like, we're not going anywhere. We got your back, and as a team, we're going to get through all this. They always had my back every step of the way. And, that's why I believe we got here, because of that team. And, we've had an incredible season. We got off to a rough start, but, we finished with a championship. So that's huge. It's so huge.
Brittany, congratulations. Brittany Force, 2017 NHRA Top Fuel champion. Great job from you. Great job for your team. So proud of you. I know everybody is. So
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Brittany Force joining us on the Straight Line, and when we return, her John Force Racing teammate, president of John Force Racing, and 2017 Funny Car champion Robert Hight joins us next.
Hey, this is Dale Earnhardt Jr. here. When I have friends and guests at the track who want to hear me during the race,
Appreciate all the hard work.
I send them the Racing Electronics.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. will win.
That's because if you're not listening to all the action live, you're missing out. Go to racingelectronics.com to pre-rent for great discounts on scanners.
Second flag right here, big wreck in your mirror.
And Fan Vision rentals.
Checkered flag, ready to fly. It's Earnhardt in turn 3.
Or see Racing Electronics and Fan Vision trackside at every NASCAR race.
I love you, man. Thank you. Unbelievable.
So what are your favorite drivers really thinking? We'll tell you each weekday on NASCAR Today, midday.
Getting married has been incredible. I wish I had figured all this out sooner.
Get the latest news from the sport and the opinions of NASCAR's biggest stars.
Changing over to Ford will open up some opportunities and possibilities and some just pure potential for the team.
That's NASCAR Today, midday. Weekdays on the Motor Racing Network.
On the racetrack, you can only go as far as your engine can take you. It's the same on the highway. Making a run with a Detroit engine under the hood gives you the industry-leading fuel economy, reliability, and durability your business needs. The Detroit DD13, DD15, and DD16 engine solutions are specifically engineered to make a run as profitable as possible. Don't just want better business solutions, demand them. Learn more at demanddetroit.com.
It's The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now, once again, here's Doug and Marty.
Big thanks to Brittany Force for joining us on The Straight Line. And on the guest line with us right now is the driver of the Auto Club Funny Car for John Force Racing, and he is the 2017 Funny Car World Champion. Robert Hight joins us. Champ, what a weekend. You could write a whole book on that entire weekend for you. I mean, just Hollywood would throw that out because it just seems so unreal what you guys did.
Tell me about it. You could make a movie about it.
Yeah.
We lived it. It was most stressful weekend I've ever had. That's for sure.
Robert, coming on board with John back 20 years ago or something in the 90s, working on the car, and then a few years later getting the chance to hop in the car and get your license, and then winning that championship. Over the last 20 years, could you have ever imagined you were going on this path that you've been going on?
Not a chance. Nope. I mean, I thought when I was hired to be John's clutch guy that it was a dream come true. I had made the big time then, so never thought I'd get to drive or anything else. I really like working on the cars. I like kind of being a part of what the crew chiefs are doing and new things you're working on. That's all exciting. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold.
Oh boy.
But no, you'd have never dreamed this big. But when you're with a team like John, John Force, I mean, anything can happen. We've got everything we need with sponsors and the funding. And the people. We got great people, and really the people are what got us back in the winner's circle this year.
Well, Jimmy Prock and Chris Cunningham, the whole team, really, boy, what a great job by them and a great job by you. You guys had a quick and fast car all year long, but then when it came down to the pressure on and the countdown, it really came together because it went from a quick and fast car to a really consistent quick fast car with a driver that was getting it. It was like you guys were tough to beat, man.
We really got clicking when we needed to. I remember in June we raced 4 weekends in June, and I think Caps was winning every race. I think he had won 3 or 4 straight, and yet we would be number 1 qualifier, or we'd have low ET on race day, but we weren't going rounds. And I remember, you report to the sponsors every week, and you're telling them, listen, our performance is there. We can run good. We just have to be more consistent. We got to race better. It's coming. And, you start wondering if you're making excuses. But Jimmy Prock said, when we roll out west to the western swing, we better have our act together. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. And he says, if we don't, it's going to be a long year. We roll into Denver. We won the race. Go to Sonoma, set the speed record. I think we lost in the semis. Go to Seattle, number 1 qualifier, win the race. Go to Brainerd, run 379. That's when we were really started clicking and got on our way. And we carried it into the countdown, and it went our way.
Jimmy Prock, you mentioned him and your crew chief. He comes from Don Schumacher Racing over to your side again, rejoining John Force Racing. There was a little bit of a tiff about that between Schumacher and Force, and it kind of went back and forth. Now Jimmy Prock wins the championship with you at the end of the season. How does this heighten the rivalry between Schumacher and Force going forward?
Oh, I'm sure that team over there is not real happy right now. It's the first year that, I mean, they didn't have a car in the top 3 in dragster, and you know, Caps finished 2. You got to give them credit. They won a lot of races. Ron Capps was killing early on, and even in the countdown he was steady. But you know, they really, when they had to run good, they couldn't outrun us. So that's really what made the difference. But oh yeah, those guys, we better continue to work hard, because they're coming after us. I remember going to the banquet the last few years, bummed out. You know, you go there and you get to watch everybody else make a speech and everybody else celebrate, and that motivates you. Okay, you wake up the day after the banquet and say, okay, 2018 starts today. We better get our act together, work hard, because next year we're going to be up there. So we got to have a little bit of time to celebrate, but we've got to get back to work, because I promise those guys are coming.
Hey, Robert, in 2009, you brought home your first championship. And what have you learned between 2009 and now that made this second one come about? What has changed with Robert Hight and being the president of John Force Racing?
Well, I can tell you one thing. I've never, in the years I've driven since 2005, never had a more stressful weekend than I had this weekend.
Right.
And it wasn't just that, you know, in qualifying, we weren't qualified till the last run and barely got in. Yeah, that's some stress there. But come Sunday morning, okay, and you got to go round for round with Caps. When I won in 2009, all I had to do was go to Pomona and qualify. Well, when you do that, you're not worried about reaction time.
Yeah.
All you got to do is get the car down the track and qualifying. Okay, well, when you're in a points battle like we're in, you've got to leave on time. You got to be ready to pedal it. You got to be ready for anything. And man, it's stressful. And then throw on top of it our problems in qualifying, and I ended up having to pedal it to get in. It was stressful, but you know what? Once you do all that and you succeed, it's no different than Brittany. Brittany had never been in this position before. Brittany is going to be so much better driver from here forward, because of what she accomplished this year and what she did in the final 6 races in the countdown. And she succeeded, okay? She stepped up to the plate when they needed her and did her job. And because of that, she's going to be better. And I hope that I'm going to be better from here forward as well.
Hey, Robert, one thing that always went through my mind when I was sitting in the car, Lanny McGleasy. Lanny used to tell me back in 25 years ago, Doug, just go up there and be a machine. And now I see Lanny McGleasy over there on your team, and I'm guessing that Lanny comes up to you and tells you to be a machine.
He is. Lanny, he really does break it down. You know, he says, the race car has no emotions, okay? The race car doesn't know if you're having a bad day or anything else. Just be a machine. One round. He's right. It's like, this is the guy that's, you know, telling us what the racetrack's like, but he's also like our head guy here. I mean, you got to listen to the guy. He's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was always something that stuck in my head. Be a machine. You know.
He's right. He's right.
And did I see that right? That Lanny got engaged on the starting line?
He did. To a real nice girl from Kentucky. They've been together for quite a while. And tell you what, I don't think there's a harder working guy in drag racing, period, than Lanny McGleasy. And he treats everything like it's his own. Just the most honest, hardworking guy you could ever dream about having on your team.
Real quick, I'll get you out on this, Robert. As president of John Force Racing, what is the double up, winning Top Fuel, winning the Funny Car Championship? What does that mean to the organization as a whole?
Well, being that the last few years we haven't even been in the hunt, it's very gratifying. I mean, a lot of hard work has gone into this, getting the right people, and now the trick is to keep those people. Okay, you've got to keep everybody together, keep finding the money, but when you're winning and you're doing what we did and winning 2 championships, we're hoping the money will be a little easier to keep coming in. But it's we never ever could have dreamed that we were going to win 2 championships when we left Indianapolis a few months ago.
Well, Robert Hight, 2-time Funny Car NHRA champion. Congratulations. Great job for you. Great job for Brittany. Great job for the whole John Force Racing team. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys. It's like it's pretty amazing when you see a list of 2-time champions in Funny Car, and then I'm even on that list. It's only a handful of guys, so it's pretty amazing, and couldn't have done it without Jimmy Prock and Chris Cunningham. And like I said last night in my speech, I worked with Jimmy for quite a few years, and Jimmy's the type of guy that he thinks out loud, and if he doesn't have the right guy sitting next to him, it can be bad. You can't have a yes man sitting there. Okay, and Chris Cunningham is not a yes man. Chris Cunningham will say, no, I don't believe that's right, or yeah, I believe it's right. He's not just going to always agree with Jimmy, but like I said in my speech, you remember the movie Jerry Maguire, and at the end of that movie, the guy said to the girl, he says, you complete me. Well, Chris Cunningham completes Jimmy Prock as a crew chief, and it's fun to sit and just listening to them and watch them work. They're doing a great job.
Yep, absolutely. Great job, Robert Hight. Again, congratulations to you. Congratulations to John Force Racing as a whole. You guys just did a super job this year.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate it.
Driver of the Auto Club Funny Car for John Force Racing in 2017, Funny Car champion Robert Hight joining us on the straight line. When we return, we'll wrap up another great edition of the show.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice, Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
MRN's Winged Nation on MAV TV.
Rico Aver's in the house. How are you?
Wow, this is great. Be on MRN, Winged Nation.
Brian Brown.
You guys do so much Winged Nation in general for our sport. It's awesome. You take us to the next level, and it's just awesome to have such a professional run show that is representing our sport, and something we're real proud of.
Greg Wilson's in the house.
Yeah, and thanks for what you guys do. And shout out to all you fans. You guys make our sport, and thank you.
Saturdays at 8:30 and 11:30 Eastern on MAV TV with Steve Post and Ashley Stremming.
When the smoke settles, the entertainment never stops.
It's all a family sport.
On race weekends, your favorite NASCAR personality is an everyday superhero.
Brad Keselowski will win.
But when they leave the racetrack, they're just like everyone else.
We just have to find the value package that connects a new generation of fans.
I'm Susie Armstrong. Join me on a daily journey as we discuss the hot topics and engaging personalities of NASCAR Nation. Ned Jarrett's World of Racing, weekdays on the Motor Racing Network.
You're listening to The Straight Line, brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now, back to Marty Huff and Doug Herbert.
Big thanks to Brittany Force and Robert Hight joining us on The Straight Line. Congratulations going out to Tanner Gray. He was named the Road to the Future Award, basically Rookie of the Year in NHRA competition at the NHRA banquet a couple of nights ago. A fantastic season. We haven't seen a rookie season like that in a long time.
Not a surprise. Yeah, Tanner Gray, I mean, that whole Gray Motorsport team, they did an incredible job this year. He was in the winner's circle several times. Just did a great job driving that car. As a rookie, I think he surprised a lot of people. Very, very deserving award going to Tanner and the Gray Motorsport team.
Yeah, we haven't seen somebody at 18 years old won 4 races this year, and also just a lot of poise shown by him. And a terrific driver.
Yeah, no, great job by that team for sure. You can't you kind of wonder what happened because they've really fell off the last.
They did.
I mean, they were so hot there.
Yeah.
Early in the year, in the middle of the year, and then all of a sudden they kind of fell off there at the end. But either that, or from our standpoint, maybe everybody else just got hot. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then Eric Enders, that team over there, the Elite Motorsport team, they kind of came around here at the end of the year. So I would expect Eric Enders and her team to be coming around. Sad to see Alan Johnson throw the parachutes one last time on that car. And I don't know. Gosh, I mean, Alan loves racing. I've known Alan for a long time. He loves racing. I have a hard time thinking that he's not going to do it anymore, but I really don't think he's going to. I think he'll go, he'll go bracket race or he'll go run
there's
a car.
for sure.
He'll go do something for fun, but I really don't think he is. And it's funny, talking to his dad doesn't want to quit. His dad wants to keep going pro stock racing. He goes, Doug, I'm just looking for somebody else to bring some money along so we can do it. Alan said he doesn't want to spend any more money, which is, you would think, Dad would be ready to retire, but that's not the case with Alan and Roy Johnson. Alan is ready to go, enjoy things. He's a successful businessman. Yeah. He's accomplished what he wanted to do in racing. Very sad to see him go. I think the sport of NHRA drag racing, he's a little bit, because he's kind of a quiet guy. A lot of people maybe don't know him, but he is a great guy. Yeah. One of the best in NHRA. So very sad to see Alan retiring.
Hey, big thanks to NHRA and Fox for all the help this year in getting our video clips to us this year. We've been able to stream a lot of the clips that you see on Fox Sports on a weekly basis here on the Straight Line. And big thanks to NHRA and Fox for doing that. Also, big thanks to Daryl Smith for helping us out this year as our producer, Jennifer Cochran, Donald Culver, and Robbie Mays also on the video side. And big thanks to you, Doug. Thanks for another great season. We are back next year.
All right, we still got a job, so that's good. We'll see everybody next year right here on the Straight Line, MRN.com.
You've been listening to The Straight Line, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. The Straight Line is the show for drag racing fans and was brought to you by Hercules Tires. Tune in again next Thursday on MRN.com and the MRN app. The Straight Line is also available on demand in MRN.com's Media Center, on our Facebook page, on YouTube, and in iTunes or the Google Play Store. The Straight Line is a production of the Motor Racing Network.